Good evening, people. This is Detroit Miracle, and I'm coming to you from on my spot. Indeed. Well, folks, right now I am here to discuss that incident that happened the other day in Montgomery, Alabama. It was strange that that went down there because I went to Montgomery, Alabama as a little baby and as a 12-year-old because it is where my mother was born and her family was originally from there, or my mother's side of the family, that is. So I went down there when I was a little baby. I couldn't really enjoy anything because, if you're small, you can't walk around on your own. You have to be picked up. So I found it to be very uncomfortable at that time when my mother took me down there. And I believe it was for a family reunion. Yeah, but when I went there later as a 12-year-old, I believe I had a good time. Or maybe I was 10 years old. I forget, but I had a good time. I found that things were peaceful, tranquil, calm. And at that time, I had no notions of racism or racist perspective viewpoints because it wasn't as well known to me as it will later become. So let's speed up many years later, and I was watching the incident unfold, which went down in Montgomery, Alabama, involving some dirty racist people who attacked this black guy who worked on the docks, and the black guy was simply doing his job. He informed them that they can't park their boat there because it was an obstruction of some sort. So after he told them that, they resorted to a racial attack, which was obviously racially motivated, because had that guy that worked there had been white, or if he was in fact white, I don't believe they would have attacked him. So, to make a long story short, they attacked that black guy, and then others would jump in, and then black people were coming to help him, and then it eventually turned into a brawl. But I noticed that the same white guys that attacked that boatman who worked on the dock, they were sort of scary and cowardly when they were confronted by superior numbers, or the numbers were equal to their numbers, but they still were afraid. But they didn't have any problems taking those same numbers to attack a lone black guy who was, like I said, doing his job and who bared them no ill will. He just told them, like, look, you got to move your boat or you can't park here. Look, anybody with some intelligence and common sense can understand that. Yeah, so this whole incident escalated and got ugly, and it turned into a major brawl, and it was just shy of becoming a riot because it could have went citywide. But we know the law enforcement came there and they got the situation under control, which is fortunate. Yeah, look, I've done racism videos before, and I've done racial perspective viewpoints before, and I am smart enough to know that that incident was racially motivated. And I was wondering, how was it that those white people that attacked that black guy, how is it that they didn't notice that other black people were there on those docks or at that riverfront? Because you tend to be very, very aware of your surroundings when you are out and about. Yeah, I know I would. Well, anyway, to make a long story short, after that whole incident wrapped up, it was arrests being made concerning the parties involved. Now, I believe that all the black people should not be charged and they should be cut loose because that was a racial attack. It was a hate crime. And if it's a hate crime and those black people jumped in to help and save that guy, then they did a civic duty and they should be acknowledged as heroes that way. So I don't believe that they should be charged for them defending that black guy and attacking those cowards who ganged up on that guy for simply doing his job and for the color of his skin. So that's how I feel. They said that there's been a massive outpouring of support for the black people involved in the incident who stuck up and defended that black guy who was under attack. And yeah, black people were supporting that guy. They were standing up for a social injustice and they were doing what was right, because if they wouldn't have stepped in, then it would have been more racial attacks just like that, similar. Yeah, folks, in America, I know us black people do not have the superior numbers, but we're not afraid. Nevertheless, we're not afraid to stand up for ourselves and to stand up against any type of social injustice. So be very aware of what happened. And then with that being said, tread very carefully. And I'm talking to all races out there with those viewpoints, because we're willing to stand up and fight for ourselves and for what is right if we have to. Okay, folks, I'd appreciate it if you would share this message, like it, put a comment on it, and comments, and please subscribe to my channel if you have not already.